Nam yo ho ning ge ko 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 nam yo ho ning ge.
Hi, I'm Margaret, and this is the channel where we take Buddhist philosophy and practice and we apply it to the problems of everyday life. I've had a number of questions recently about how to deal with difficult people. So today I want to discuss the Buddhist point of view on handling people like this. Bill Aiken, former SGI USA Vice General Director, said in his World Tribune article, The Oneness of Life and Its Environment, quote, rather than there being one static environment that we living beings are all born into, every environment is uniquely customized, tailored to suit each of us according to the state of our inner lives. So, in a sense, we're all going around with our personal universe, one that extends from the inner depths of our heart outward to all the phenomena of our surroundings. So, to better influence our outer world, we strengthen and improve the inner self. We talk about oneness of life and its environment and the law of cause and effect, but what does that actually mean when it comes to dealing with a difficult person? When you're dealing with somebody who's really difficult, the temptation is to see them as the problem and ourselves as the victim. But this is not what the Buddhist concept of oneness of life and its environment, along with the cause and effect, says. The causes of our current environment have been created through our past thoughts, words, and actions. As Nichiren Daishonin says in the opening of the eyes, if you want to understand the causes that existed in the past, look at the results as they're manifested in the present. And if you want to understand what results will be manifested in the future, look at the causes that exist in the present. So our current environment, our current circumstances, are the effect of our past causes. And there's always a combination of an internal cause and an external cause, the triggering situation. For example, you might have a tendency, internal cause, to be jealous. The triggering situation might be an unfaithful husband. Now, beautiful lotus flowers blossom in a muddy swamp. The muddy swamp is our life circumstance. We might find the mud difficult and repulsive, but it holds the conditions for our spiritual growth and is the curriculum, the opportunities for us to learn different lessons. Now, this doesn't mean that the difficult person isn't causing problems, but it does mean that we have to change our circumstances by changing ourselves. As long as we blame the other person, nothing changes, and we don't grow spiritually. So what are we doing when we're constantly blaming or resenting someone? I think we've all heard the saw, what we resist persists. So when we're holding somebody hostage and attacking them in our minds, we keep recreating the very situation we hate through the current causes which lead to future similar effects, according to the oneness of life, its environment, and the simultaneity of the law of cause and effect. The law of cause and effect is strict, and the causes we make are going to create effects which match them. The other person may be the immediate external cause of your hardship, but the fundamental cause lies in your own karma, your own past causes to suffer in a situation like this. When you look into your own life and destiny and change your attitude, there'll be a change in the other person. Izumi, known for his excellent guidance in Japan, tells this story. Quote, a woman complained that her mother-in-law was perverse, malicious, and will not change her ways no matter how often I ask her. She called her all the names she could think of. President Toda said, as young as you are, you're still unable to correct your own disposition? How then can you expect your aged mother-in-law to change hers? He gave her detailed guidance until she realized that the fundamental source of the problem was not her mother-in-law, but she herself. When she returned home, she found her mother-in-law's attitude toward her had made a profound change for the better. Fairly frequently, when faced with serious troubles, people are so overwhelmed by the events happening in their lives that they just forget about the limitless power of the Gohansa, and their faith diminishes. We must remember not to be swayed by external phenomena, but to remember the rock of the Gohansa. So when you're suffering due to someone else, it might be that that person is ill, or is treating you badly, or has a problem that's affecting the whole family. But it's still your karma to suffer in such a situation. So pray to the Gohansa in order to change your destiny for the better, turning poison into medicine, thus transforming your bad karma into a cause for happiness. That's one of the great values of the practice, is being able to do this. And you know, people who've been practicing for a long time develop an interesting attitude. They get really curious when a problem comes up, just to see how it will be resolved. They've repeatedly had the experience that problems which have come up have been resolved in very interesting ways when they've chanted about them and taken action on the ideas which have come to them. They understand that that problem is there for their personal growth and perceive it as a way to grow by turning to the Gohansa and seeing their problem as another stepping stone to enlightenment. So in summary, we looked at the idea that our circumstances are the effects created by past causes and actions, in accordance with the simultaneity of the law of cause and effect and oneness of life and its environment. That if we're dealing with a difficult person, it was our karma to suffer in such a situation. That when we resist the situation and attack someone in our minds, the situation will persist as we're creating future similar causes. Remember, what we resist persists. And some forget the Gohansa when overwhelmed by events. So when dealing with a difficult situation or difficult people, go to the Gohansa and chant to turn poison into medicine, to change your difficult karma into a cause for happiness. And I want to thank all of you for your comments and your questions. As always, you're helping me find topics for this vlog. And I'll see you the first Thursday of next month.